Hello everyone, welcome to another Warleader PvP video. I'm finally back to making these things, after having finished moving countries and all of that kind of fun stuff. And finally finishing up with some podcast episodes and such, which I'll talk about more later. Right now we kind of need to get started. For these fights, I've gone back to my old trait setup, which is a mix of morale boost and damage boost. And I do almost all these with 2 Audacity. One of them is done with 3, I will mention that when that one pops up. Anyway, this is going to be a little long, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, now this first fight is one that happened very shortly when I came back to playing after a break while I was traveling and such. And this is Cernia. Cernia is a new rune-keeper out here in the Atmores, only 5,000 morale, doesn't do quite the damage of other rune-keepers that are better geared and such. Cernia is an alternate character of somebody else, not going to say any names, but I do know who it was. They talked to me after the fight was over. Right now what I'm trying to do is I'm hoping to possibly be able to get Cernia to move out of there away from the hobbits so I can actually attack. If I attack with the NPCs around, particularly because there's about 4 in that spot where she was standing, really not going to stand a chance at all. But you know, with only 5k health, as I've said in the chat window, I think I can take her. Alright, Cernia has moved out into the tree line, which is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. This is going to be a great chance to come and really try to put down a rune-keeper. Alright, I'm waiting on the cooldown of Call to Shadow, just taking a little bit more time. Pop it, get it going, drop my banner again, come right around to the side of the tree, and redeploy the banner one more time, command post, and there I get first shot there, just by cutting around the tree. Stunned right off the bat, go ahead, stun pot. Try to get the slow, did not crit. Go ahead and hit her with Menacing Roar, did get a crit there, so that's a lot of damage done already, and she's already trying to pop some heals off and all that, which Runekeepers can heal without losing any attunement thanks to some changes that they got in Update 7. There I managed to get a slow. This is an excellent opportunity. I can get on top of her, hammer her with some of my melee attacks, because this Runekeeper is not very well geared, doesn't have a whole lot of extra mitigations. I'm really going to do a lot of damage with common damage melee attacks, especially because she's probably trying to stack up on tactical mitigation like most creeps are, and probably ignoring physical a little bit more than probably would be wise, especially considering, you know, not very well geared. And finished with Call to Shadow and Black Speech combo. Alright, now this is another day, and we've run into a Runekeeper over here. The rest of my group is off elsewhere. I think one person's AFK, one person's dead somewhere. Runekeeper was trying to camp the Lug's res circle, so I'm going right at it. The big problem here for me is that I just died and came out of the circle, and I used up all my cooldowns, so I do not have Get a Grip, I do not have Quitters, and that's really going to be a problem, because I really need those big heals right now, and I don't have them. Grip is going to come off cooldown in a few seconds, but it's just not enough time, and I'm already dead. So I really can't afford to engage Runekeepers without those big cooldowns ready to go, otherwise they just put out too much damage, too much crowd control, and they can even slow and kite and just keep you at bay. So I go ahead, I ate food and come right back, because I know I did damage, they're going to be healing back up, but with the food boost and having Grip ready, potentially I could kill this person. Only 6,000 morale. They hit pretty hard, but not particularly hard for Runekeeper levels. So go ahead and attack, get a resist there, but I do get the slow with Intimidating Shout instead, so that works out just fine. And there's actually a Black Arrow right there who's attacking, so it's turned into a 2v1, and this is going to go pretty good for me. Very low on health there. I was a little slow on my bubble. If that had been a crit on that epic conclusion and the Black Arrow had gone down, it would have been really bad. As it was, though, the Black Arrow survived, the bubble went up, and that's pretty much game over for the Runekeeper. The bubble's not going to go down until the Runekeeper's already dead. And down it goes. Now here I am in Grotham. I find a burglar going through and killing NPCs, so I decide I'm going to go ahead and prepare myself for this battle and see what I can do to him. Go ahead and track him, because he did go into stealth. I see him right there, and I go ahead and just attack. Don't bother with Call to Shadow, because I need to drop him out of his stealth. And now he's just trying to run at this particular point in time. I'm managing to stay on his back, but he's really not making this difficult. He is trying to get out of Grotham as fast as he can, picking up NPCs in the process, and there he went with hips. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to guess where he's going to go, and that's why I'm getting on top of this rock here. And I decide that I'm going to go out the other door, and I'm waiting for my tracker to come off cooldown, and just heading out the gate and hoping that I picked right and that I'm going to be able to get right on him, which I do shortly. He's already regenerated by that point, but now there's no NPCs, so maybe he'll turn and fight. He goes ahead, he hits me with Daze. I hit my root pot a little too early. I needed to wait an extra second and a half or so before I hit it, so instead I ended up using up my stun pot as well, and he just goes into stealth and leaves. Here's another burglar who jumps me when I'm trying to harvest some troll stone, and puts down just a ton of damage right off the bat. He's obviously wearing the Audacity gear because he's got very good mitigations for being medium armor and only having 7,000 morale, which means that he's also stacked up on the agility, the crit, all that stuff, so he hits very, very hard. I do have my cooldowns are not available at this point. Quitters, as you can see, is well into its cooldown, and Grip is also almost a minute into its use. So really not a good spot for me to be in. I don't really have any chance. I'm just trying to get to the res circle, and if I can make it there, then I'll be good, but too much crowd control, and I'd go down very shortly here. I'm still trying to get to that res circle, but only got 1,000 morale left. And he gets me there, just short of the red circle. So I come back, manage to find him, engage again, and well, as you can see, I still don't have my cooldowns. What I'm trying to do is I'm hoping that, well, this time I did manage to eat food, and I got my brand off, but if I can keep engaging him, wear him down, get him to use up his cooldowns, get mine off cooldown, get him to just continue fighting and get some practice in against the guy, but mainly wear him down, especially repeated engagements if he doesn't manage to regenerate all the way, then I should be able to kill him. Having res proximity is really important for this entire little strategy here. And sometimes it'll work out, and sometimes it won't. Right now I am trying to kite him a little bit and use tactical attacks. It's really not working out. He's managing to cut the inside lane and get right back on top of me. So my kiting is failing somewhat spectacular, and that's my own fault. The brand has gone down, and I take crowd control, and I'm going to be dead momentarily here. And there I go. So I come back one more time. This time I've got my big heals off cooldown, ready to go. I've got food. I've gone ahead and used some delving pots. Managed to get him on track. There he is. And here we go, one more time. This time Banner of Terror is not available, and I do not have my brand available. Probably would have been better served to have saved those from the last round for this second one. Well, like third round, rather. Unfortunately, I did not, so I don't have everything available to me, and we'll see how much of a difference that makes. For now, I'm just taking a lot of damage. There goes that heal. That was a Mischievous Glee, I believe, which, as you can see, with Audacity boosting the amount of defense that the burglar gets, Mischievous Glee is actually a significant heal once again. Whereas for a while before Audacity was introduced, burglars were not really able to self-heal themselves the way that they could towards the latter stages of Mirkwood, where the Glee heal just popped their morale bar up a little bit, and then it was just gone and evaporated as soon as they took a couple more shots. Not the case anymore. Now that they pick up pretty much an extra 1,000, and it takes quite a bit of effort to chew through that. Both my cooldowns are already used up, and I'm still very low on morale right now. He's still hanging around at half, hasn't even used his strength and morale. So really, this fight is not in my favor. I'm not going to be able to finish this one off. I just cannot put up enough damage. I can't run him out of power. He's kind of low right now, but I'm still on cooldown for Banner of Terror, although that's getting closer to being off. And it's just not going to be fast enough. His power just went back up. It's not going to finish him. I'm not going to survive this. I've taken him down to 2,000 morale, just a little bit under. He's popped back up from regeneration. And I'm trying to kite him as much as I can. He does have the slow from intimidating shout, but that just wore off, and I take some stuns. And I am dead right here. So as you can see, Burglar still just not a good proposition. Alright, and finally, this is the fight where I'm at 3 Audacity. Firewall Ghost is hanging around at good TA, so I show up, try to take him down, see what I can do. Only 8,000 morale on the champion. He is in Fervor stance, so I was hoping that perhaps he's not traded martial champion, but he is, and it looks like he also has quite a bit of audacity on it. My attacks are incredibly low, as you can see in 62s from my auto attacks, which attacking the training drummy in Gram Sweat that has heavy armor yields hits that are about 50 from my common damage, which is just a little disgusting in all honesty. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Now notice that with Banner of Terror down, he has a total of 486 power, and notice how that doesn't stop him at all. He can use every single ability, continue on the power loss and the hit to his regeneration and stuff, the will. It just doesn't matter because Fervor provides so much power regen. It is 1,900 points of power regeneration, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest here, 1,900 points is stupid. Way more than it should be. The other thing to notice is that he does have scrolls used right here, so I am a bit at a disadvantage there. I should have gone ahead and popped some delving pots beforehand, but I did not. I was hoping I'd be able to take him. Did not anticipate just how much he would be able to mitigate. I've already dropped into commander stance here, and basically what I'm going to try to do is just heal and last against him. I'm not going to run him out of power because he's a champion, and pretty much my only hope is just to stay alive long enough to keep doing damage and manage to put him down. Unfortunately, that does not look like it's going to happen, because even though I've done quite a bit, the damage is just very, very slow. Take a stun there, which really not good for me. But I'm still managing to stay in the fight just a little bit. But at this end of my morale pool, if I take a really bad critical hit, it's going to be all over it. A really bad brutal strikes will drop me right here. Or a remorseless. Once again, going with quitters. I'll quit whining and fight, but damage is just coming in a little too strong right now. My health pot is off cooldown. I'll go ahead and hit that, so that's my second use of that. But that does mean that his health pot and his power pot should be coming off cooldown very shortly here, so he's going to have even more available to him. And my health is still going down. I'm barely at 2,000. And down I go. Alright, now I return once again. I really should have stopped and spent some time inducting more heals in commander stance to get my quitters off cooldown, but I did figure that I'm going to drop into commander stance anyway, so I will have that off cooldown during the fight, but it probably would have been better to keep it handy for the early stages. As you can see, I've gone ahead and I've hit a couple delving pots already, so I am just getting ready to fight him. I should go ahead and hit my resistance one. That would come in handy. It's not really necessary against the champion. They don't do a whole lot of bleed damage per se, and not a whole ton of things to resist, and some stuns. He went ahead and ate food, so I ate food as well. So that's where we are. Go ahead and drop Banner of Terror immediately because he did pop his controlled burn, and pretty much the same thing as what happened last time. One thing that will change for this particular round is I am going to go ahead and drop into commander stance a lot sooner. I'm also going to go ahead and use defensive aura as soon as I get it. As soon as I need to. There we go, and switch into defensive aura right there. And as you can see, I've got armor rends and some other effects on me right now, so the defensive aura is going to help me stay a little bit more sturdy against this guy. Hopefully keep me in brawler stance a bit longer than otherwise. Alright, I should be hitting grip very shortly here. Waiting on the cooldown of crack the whip so I can use that. Now I'm going to drop in commander stance. Okay, that's right. So I'm in commander stance, got the heal there. There goes grip, back up to full health. Now it's going to be the nice long slog. We'll actually go back to brawler stance because I realize I can stay there for a little bit longer. Try to put more damage on him in these early stages. Once again, especially with that food buff, enhancing the regeneration that he's getting from his fervor stance, power just is not an issue. And there went the Banner of Terror. It is expired, so he's got more regeneration, a bigger power pool, and the damage boost is back to him because he doesn't have to deal with the minus damage from Banner of Terror. So now I really need to get back into commander stance here so that I can continue to weather his assault. There we go, switching over to commander stance. And shortly here I should be going into Aura of Command to get some extra melee damage. Honestly though, with how little it's hitting for, it might be better just to stay in defensive Aura. Really not totally sure about that. That would take a little more testing and playing against some of these high audacity champions for me to come to a full conclusion about that, but that is something that would be worth considering if you're having to fight these guys. The other really big thing is that I need more audacity to fight these guys, and they're coming at me with 7 audacity most likely, and I've got 3. So the audacity difference definitely is a major factor because they hit me so much harder. Even if we were at 0 audacity, they'd be hitting me a lot harder, but they hit me way harder when they've got the audacity advantage. Now one thing I must say for Firewall is he's doing a very good job of keeping hamstring up on me as much as he can, and it does restrict my movement. Fortunately with the champion I'm not as worried about movement restrictions because I'm really not trying to kite them. I want to stay on top of him and hit him with melee attacks more often than not. I do try to move around and keep a little distance so I don't take constant attacks, but I really don't worry about keeping him in front of me because melee attacks do account for quite a bit of my damage. Well, at least when I'm not hitting for 53 damage on an auto attack. Alright, his power just took a really big boost right there, so I believe he may have used a cooldown to get his power pool back up, but he hits me very hard right there, and I go down thanks to a string of crits and such. Right, well that concludes the 1v1s from this particular video. As you can see, there really hasn't been much of anything that has truly changed in terms of free power levels and stuff. Obviously, Audacity is becoming more and more important as Freeps are getting better geared, particularly as a lot more of them are getting access to full jewelry and other things from Limelight Gorge and new armor and extra things that have been made available to them, mostly because of Great River content. It makes Audacity even more necessary for war leaders, especially Reavers and such, but creeps in general just need more Audacity nowadays. So definitely work on that if you're going to be doing 1v1s. Against a weaker target, one that's not as well geared, you can get away with a lot less and be a lot more aggressive, but the guys with Audacity will pretty much tear you apart if you don't have the Audacity at the same level to be able to actually stand a decent chance against them. Also, as promised, I do have some podcast stuff to mention. The big thing is that the Reaver Roundtable has gone up. This means that I have finished my roundtables for every single Monster Play class. The Reaver Roundtable in particular, I had some really good people on there, some great insights and stuff. But you can check out all the roundtables that I did on my podcast over at the podcast blog and stuff. That information is on every single video, so if you want to take a look at that, hopefully you find the stuff helpful. And if you enjoy it, let me know, because I put this stuff up for fun and because I want to help people as much as I can. Anyway, that's all for this time. Good luck and have fun out there. Ugmog is out.